Hello, I hope everyone's doing well. Today we're going to talk about some potential defenses that you may hear from an insurance adjuster following a car wreck as to why they may devalue your bodily injury claim or even possibly try to pay nothing at all. One of the most common ones that I hear following a car wreck from adjusters is, well, Mary, there's just really not any property damage. I mean, look, there's barely just that little scratch right there on the bumper. Like, if the car didn't even get dented in, how could the person in there have been injured? A fancy term that adjusters use regarding that is mechanism of injury. If there's no damage to the car, how could there be any damage to the person inside the car? And a really good comeback to that is the egg carton example. Just imagine that this carton were full of eggs and I drop it on the floor. I pick it back up, the carton's not damaged. But if there were eggs in here, which I'm not going to waste, but if there were, they would have broken. So that's a perfect example of how our little bodies are in these big, strong cars. We still get jolted and thrown around and injured. Another argument you may hear following a car wreck is that, well, you know, they only had soft tissue injuries. Nothing was broken. And that's a common argument as well. I played basketball when I was in high school, and I tore 3 ligaments in my ankle. And ligaments are actually soft tissues. They're not bones. When I went to the orthopedic surgeon, he actually told my parents, as far as recovery time and pain, I would have been better off breaking my ankle, the bone, than having torn those ligaments. So you've always got an argument to come back against this soft tissue claim. And another argument that you may hear following a car wreck and treatment is going to be what's called gap in time. And typically these are the hardest to overcome. Most adjusters say unless there's some sort of huge intervening factor, anything more than 2 weeks as far as a gap in care just isn't going to be considered. So say on January 1st you went to the doctor and then you didn't go back until January 21st. Well, that's almost 3 weeks later, so that's a 3-week gap in care. Some ways to come back against that is, well, the doctor didn't tell me to come back for 3 weeks, so I was just following the doctor's orders. Also, like I said, there could be some catastrophic factors in your life, like if you have a death in the family, or maybe you're dealing with some other health issue like cancer or something like that that would affect your ability to treat the injuries from the accident. So you definitely would have some options to refute that gap in treatment. But again, that's something to be aware of. It's always, always important to stay on top of your treatment schedule. So those are some issues that you might come up against when dealing with an adjuster on a property damage claim. As always, be safe.